it'd be nice as well to also please do well to stay in class and also follow through the process so that if you got any questions, you can actually ask as well. All right, now we have gone through today's agenda, what we'll be discussing. We're going to get into the main agenda for today. So starting with what is UI design? Now, I'd like to basically know, I do not expect that any of you should know what UI design is or user interface design. UI stands for user interface design. Now, I do not expect that everyone should know, but when you hear user interface design, what really comes into your mind? I'd really appreciate if anyone could really speak up. If you know what that is, there's no wrong answer. So guys, feel free, there's no wrong answer. If you want to speak up, please just unmute your mic or raise your hand and I'll just bring you up. If you like to get to, if you have an idea of what UI design is. Anyone? Or you can type it on the chat box if need be. Does anyone know what user? Okay, Shay said designing apps. That's correct. Designing apps, that's correct. That's not far from the truth. Very correct. Thank you very much, Shay, for making that attempt. Have anyone got an idea or you've got a different alternative to what you think? Hi, Mr. Kelvin. User interface, great stuff. So has anyone got a different idea of what UI? Maybe you think it's not designing. Maybe you think it's something else and everyone is saying something different. Please feel free to also just say, all right, share your idea. This is meant to be very interactive. You can also raise your hand if you like to speak or mute your mic if you like to speak as well. Hi, Mary Rose said human-computer interaction. That's also still correct. Very well. Okay, thank you guys for the impact. For those of you who have said something, and for those who do not know, there's no problem. That's why we are all here to learn. Hi, Godwin. You say UI stands for user interface, and this is the first page people see when they access a website. This is actually still correct. And thank you very much, Godwin, for making that attempt and all that. Now let's go and see what UI design is all about. Can you everyone still see my screen? Can anyone please unmute their mic and let me know if you can?
Yeah.
Great stuff. Please, if I'm speaking, because I'm going to be speaking with slides, so if at any point it get disconnected, please do well to call my attention. Thank you. All right, now let's see what UI design is all about. Now, UI, as many of you have said, stands for user interface. Now, I like to break things very easy. I'm not going to give you the dictionary meaning. I want you to be able to understand this pictorially so that you can always remember it. Now, your user interface, basically the word itself is you as a user when you interact with an interface. You know, the things you see when you interact with an interface, that's what UI design is. Now, as a UI designer, you design things that users can actually see. Now, if you, on your website, on your mobile application, the things you see, things like the buttons, the images, the text, the field forms, you know, whatever, all those things you can see, those beautiful icons, all those things you can see are called user interface. So if you are a UI designer, you are the one responsible to design how that interface will look like. So if someone met you and say, okay, let me look for someone's name here, say something like Gabriela. Let me make you use an example. Hi, Gabriela. As a UI designer, I want you to design maybe a landing page. I'll discuss what a landing page is. Okay, let's use a website that everyone is familiar with. I want you to design a website for me and all that. So you as the UI designer would come up with how it would be. Now remember, a UI designer is not a graphic designer. It's way far from it, okay? So UI designer would now then design how this platform or this interface would look like, how this website would look like. Okay, the logo has to be here, the menu has to be here, the buttons has to be here. I need to put an image here, I need to put a text, I need to put this, I need to put that. So you designing that whole interface so that it's very friendly for users when they come into your platform, they can actually get to use that. Now, some of you may ask, does it mean that as a UI designer, when I design it, people can actually get to use it? The answer is yes, and the answer is no. Now, yes, in the point is, when you get to prototype your design, now prototype is when you start making those functionalities effective. If I click on this button to sign up, it opens me a new page. You can all do that as a UI designer. That's the amazing, beautiful part about it. All right. It has, you know, for mobile apps or as website, landing pages, web applications, you can actually do that. It works as if it's the real one that has already been developed, all right, by the programmers, software developers, which, like I said, we have very senior, renowned, experienced software developers or guest speaker who would be speaking on that much later. So a UI design now, or a UI basically stands for what you can see, all right, when designing the screens, the mobile app, the things you interface with, all right. So that's what a UI stands for: user interface, or UI design, or a UI designer. So basically, if you do understand what a UI is, if you're not confused, if you understand what a UI is, please pop a Y on the comment section, which stands for yes. And if you're still confused, please put up a no, which is an N, and I'll know that you have a question to ask. So if you can please put that on the chat quickly. If the way it's been explained, it's very easy to understand, put up a Y. And if you have any questions or doubts, please put up a N. And no, please feel free to ask questions. That's why I'm here. I don't want you to get more confused than when you came in. I want you to understand. Okay, great stuff. I can see a lot of persons are putting up a Y. So it means I'm already doing a good job, guys. Please, you can actually give a smiley. If you want to give any reaction, there's a smiley down here. You can give different reactions and all that. So at least it tells me that I'm doing a good job already. All right, great stuff. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys, for responding to that. Thank you. All right, great stuff. All right, let's move on to now we all know what a UI stands for. Now, remember, you can actually work as you can work as a UI designer. You can also work as a UX designer. You can also work as a product designer or as a UI UX designer. Guys, I've already given you an expo somehow. Remember, I said there is a prize to win because I'm going to ask a question very soon. So please pay attention. I just gave you guys an expo to an answer. Now let's learn what is a UX. The UX basically stands for user experience. So that X there, it's for experience. Now, it basically, like I said, I like to not read dictionary meanings, but I like to also explain so you can always remember it anytime. Now, a user experience is basically how does a user feel when they experience using a mobile app or a design, or when they get into a website. For example, maybe you want to shop on Amazon. How do you feel? The experience, the user flow journey. Now, user flow journey, your user journey basically is the journey, the process you take as a user to be able to achieve what you've come in there. From the moment when you basically go to the search bar to navigate on the product you want to order, to reviewing the product details, to putting on the cart, to making that payment, to getting your receipt, that whole experience, is it easy? Is it user-friendly, or do you have to get into the platform and stumble? Oh, where do I search for this? Where do I get this? And I'm sure most of you have obviously had bad user experiences, maybe using a website, maybe using a mobile app. Let me give an example. One of the industry that sometimes have this issue in university institutions, higher institutions, universities. Sometimes because they've got a lot of information overload, they don't focus on UX and all that. They don't focus on the user who wants to actually use their platform. You're trying to fill up a form or trying to find out a course. You keep looking for where do I go to, which link, which menu, and all that. And at the end of the day, let me tell you what happens. At the end of the day, as the user, you get frustrated most of the times and you don't complete that. And if someone tells you about, guy, fill up this form, like, nah, all right, I can't, you get discouraged about it. So there's a tendency that you may not fill up that form anymore, all right? Now, the other bad side of it, which is the con side, for the business, the universities, that they have lost potential students. They have lost students who would have enrolled because they had bad user experience. So if there's anything you need to understand is a user experience focuses more on the user. All right, they focus more on the user. And how do they focus on these users? They interact with users to get to know how should these things be. How do you do? They answer question of how can we make this better for you? What features will I put in an app or in a website that will make this, that you would enjoy that? Second, another thing again is that those companies who do not employ the services of UX designers, product designers, remember, I've also give you an expo, but I will not tell you what I just said. So companies who do not employ the services of UX designers or product designers tend to basically lose money because they spend enough time building features that at the end of the day, you and I as the users will not use. There are some features on our app that we have never gone there to click on that. We've never done anything, but the company has spent money, they have spent time. I'm sure we basically have software developers here. They have spent time, they have spent money, resources to get that to work, just to find out that users are not interested in that. But if they had actually employed the services of a UX designer or a product designer to actually find out what features, what are the pain points, what would users like to see when creating an app or mobile app, they would obviously know the right features to create. And how do they communicate to users? Through surveys, through interviews, and how do they get the to know exactly from whatever the interview or survey they get from the users, they analyze the data. They build things like user flow. They build things like empathy map, persona, user persona, affinity diagram. They build things like what else? What else? What else? Yeah, there's a whole lot. Information architecture and all that. So they build so many of all these things, and that would help guide the product designers or UI designers, UX designers to know exactly what to build. Okay, and now I've said a lot, but I needed to make this very understanding for you. So a user experience designer is someone who designs with the user at mind. Remember all these things I've said. So they design, they just don't just design because they want to design or to make it look beautiful. All right, but they design, okay, if I place the button here, it would be easier for the clients or for the users to be able to interact here. If I make this like this, so they design having the user at mind. Okay, now if you understand what user experience is, please say Y, which stands for yes, on the comment section. And if you think all I've just said you don't understand, please put up a no, and I'll make sure I answer it to make sure you understand it. Can we just put that? Great stuff. I can see a lot of why. Thank you. I can see a lot of reactions. Thank you very much. Okay, so Ifeanyi has said, please, I have a question. Is there a difference between a product designer and a UI designer? Ifeanyi, I will not answer that question now because that was one of the questions I have to ask her for anyone to win the prize. I will not answer that question right now, but I'm going to talk about what a product designer is. I'm going to talk about that. And I think once I talk about that, you'll be able to know what the answer is because I have a question in that. So if I have to answer that now, then that means nobody will win the prize. Okay, so please just stay put. You'll get that shortly. And if at the end of the day you are still in doubt, please still let me know. But before I move on to the next stage, has anyone actually experienced any bad user experience? Maybe using an app, you're trying to, maybe from Jumia, you're trying to order something and you just couldn't find, or you're trying to fill up a form. Has anyone had such experience? Ben, you said you asked the question. Can't see. That's why it's nice to can't see your question. I asked the question earlier. Okay, a typical example is the Figma app site we have been well, okay, we can say that's a bad experience you have had. So if now I was about to ask, has anyone had an experience having a bad user experience, using a website? So yeah, that's a perfect example to give, Ben. So sorry I didn't see that earlier. So just like I said, in case if you type that up and I'm able to see that, please raise up, click on this hand too. It will notify me. And whenever I come to check, I'll be able to know that someone has popped in and wants to ask a question. Okay, please do not be offended. Has any, okay, Ugochukwu said pop-up ads. Exactly, Cynthia. Wow, looks like some persons have issues. Okay, great stuff. So Cynthia has also said that. Okay, so now we do have people who have experienced that because at some points they did not enjoy their experience using an app. Great. Let's move over to the next. Now, someone asked, is a UI designer product designer? Well, let's see what product design is. Now, what is a product designer? Or what is product design? Or who is a product designer? Now, listen attentively. A product designer is a combination of both a UI designer. So whatever the UI does, now remember the UI focuses on the aesthetics, the design, the colors to use, the images, the icons, the text, the buttons, and so on, the alignments. They usually like to follow the UI design principle, right? To design an app. Now, so a product designer does that. A product designer also does the UX side of it, whereby they also focus while designing, having the user at heart. And I told you that there are things they also do as a UX designer. They do things like creating interviews, survey interviews, or maybe it could be interviews or survey questions. It could be to analyze that data that they received, to have to make good informed decision, to be able to understand the pain points by creating user personas, by creating empathy map, by creating affinity diagram, by creating feature flows, information architecture, user flows, and so many and so many. So it's a journey which you would all get to learn once you all enroll into the training that will kickstart in a few weeks. So that's what a product designer. So a product designer is a combination of UI and UX, but there's also something extra that a product designer does. Now, a product designer comes in at the point of when the problem is there. So a client reaches out to you. Ben, I think there's some, yeah, Ben. So let's say a client, you're a product designer, a client reaches out to you to say, I've got a problem for a saving app. All right, I've got a problem for a saving app. I think a lot of students end up graduating without having any form of savings. That is a problem. And we can all agree that that's a problem because everyone is all focused to having a job, a white-collar job at the end of graduation. But, well, how many of us really do? Which is not cool. So imagine the clients want you to come up with a solution. How should we go about this? That's when you come in as a product designer. So I don't like to give, like I said, I like to give painting a story so you can understand it. All right. So that's where you come in. You come in to now then, as a product designer, so Ben, you now then think, okay, what we need to first do. So you come in from the ideation stage. You follow from the ideation stage all through the processes until that product has been finally deployed and launched to the market. And even after it's done, you're still consistently refining to ensure that it's meeting the user's needs. I think that's the better way to explain what a product designer is. So you basically will come up with a solution. Okay, I think the first thing we need to do is maybe create a landing page. Now, some of you may ask, what is a landing page? I like to say it's more of like a single, just one page that basically shows all the information you need to know about a company. So it's different from website. Websites have got different multiple, pages. You click on this, standard website pages are like 5 pages and thereabouts. All right. But this is just a single, and I'm sure most of you would have actually seen what a landing page. I'll try to show you one when we get into the practical. So a landing page is just a landing page that shows basically what the company does. So it's like every single thing you see that's there. All right. Now you can say, okay, let's create a landing page, right? And make that live. And then get people to sign up, create that awareness to say that we are designing an app that does ABCD to provide savings. That is just something like, for example, an example could be PiggyVest, right? Now, so maybe something like that, but maybe you have a better idea that PiggyVest is not doing. Now that's when your UX come in as competitor, and you go to your computer analysis to say, okay, what are those people who are doing these things in the market? How can we make us better? What are their flaws? And one way to get to know about this, guys, just go on the App Store. You saw those negative comments. Those things we appreciate people who do those things because a lot of competitors who are trying to build different apps go there, say, okay, this is what people are complaining about a particular product. They go think, refine theirs, solve those problems, and start telling guys, oh, come to this other place. So these are the things you do as a product designer. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this so that you don't get confused. So just to summarize it, a product designer does the job of both a UI, UX designer. It also brings the solution to the problem from the beginning, follows it down to when from the ideation stage, follows it down to when the product has been deployed, and even after, they still ensure that it's meeting both the business goals, which every business is being created to make money. So if they need to make money or to sign up, how are we going to position the call to action buttons to ensure that, if it's for sign up, we need to position it at the hero section. All this will be explained in the practical class and all that. So please, if you do understand what a product designer is, drop a Y to say which stands for yes. And if you have doubts, please drop a no and I'll answer that question. Okay, great stuff. I can see everyone is following. All right. You can't just really be 5 persons now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The others, do you mean that you don't understand what a product designer is? Please drop a Y if you understand what a product designer is. If you don't understand, just drop an N and I would know that you don't understand. Okay, Ben, that's an N. Okay. Okay, that's a Y. Anyone else with an N? Okay, great stuff. Just Ben. All right, Ben, would you like to please unmute your mic and make me understand what exactly is the confusion? And I'm happy to make you understand. Are you happy to unmute your mic and let me know what you don't understand? And I'm happy to, yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ben.
You said something about designing using product design using seeing the app, something like that. So what is it, the product you're about designing? What is it, as in how can it be done?
I'm trying to understand your question, but please do correct me if that's the exactly. Are you asking how do we design the product as a product designer?
Yeah.
Is that what you are?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so when we say product, every digital product like web application, websites, landing pages, mobile apps, in the tech space, they're all called products. All right, the full word digital product. So when we say creating products, or you as a product designer, you're designing these things. And like I said a product designer obviously does the work of a UI designer, which all of you have all said you understand what that is. You do the job of a UX. You also come up with solutions to that problem. A UI doesn't come up with solution. Somebody would have actually created the solution, all right, and pass it to your UI and say, okay, design. So the UI will just interpret all the materials and everything. We call it PRD in tech. If you get into the main training, you understand what a PRD. PRD stands for product requirement document. It tells you every single thing you need to know about why building that particular product. Remember, I said product stands for, it could be a website, a web application, a mobile app, and so have you. Is that clear?
Yes, yes.
Right, okay, great stuff. And if you're still any doubts, please let me know. Okay,
Okay.
great stuff. Thank you. Can I mute your mic? Thank you. All right, so now brings me to my question. Let's see who have been listening. All right. So the next slide I'm going to pop up in now, would be, the next slide I'm going to pop up in now is the question. Now, if you have an idea to the answer, if you think the answer to that question is a yes, put up a yes or a Y. All right. If you think the answer to that question is a no, just put up an N. Read it carefully. Now, the first person who gets it, okay, yeah, the first person who gets it correctly will be called up to defend why the person said the answer is either a yes or a no, depending on what the answer is. So I'll select the first person who said a yes, and I'll select, if there's anybody that said a no, I'll also select the person who said a no. All right. And then I'll tell you the answer, if the answer is a yes or a no. Now, the twist to it is, if the person who says the correct answer and is being brought up does not give the correct backing, I mean, if you say something is a yes or a no, you should have a reason that prompted you, right? So if you don't give, that's the twist, the right explanation to it, I wouldn't say you've technically got that correctly. Another, I would pass it over to the second person who said the right correct answer, and the person obviously gets it correct, the person wins the token. Now you may ask, what is a token? I know a lot of you are odogus, but it's just a token basically to just appreciate your efforts for listening, just just something little. If you're in Nigeria, you would stand to get 5,000 naira, which you can use for a recharge card, and cover for a session for coming to buy data. And then if you're in the UK, you will just get a £10 you can actually use to maybe get something for lunch, McD's, KFC's and the rest of them. And then if you're any part of the world, we will definitely get your details and see where we can actually send that. Or if there's anybody you have in mind you want us to send that to, we will definitely do that. And that will happen today. I hope you guys are excited. Now I'm going to pop in the next slide. If you know that the answer is a yes, proper yes. If you know that the answer is a no, proper no. 1, 2, 3, go, guys. Can a UI designer do the job of a product designer? Can a UI designer do the job of a product designer? Okay, so I guess everyone has seen that. Now let's see what people are saying. Okay, we've got a lot of smart people, but I'm not seeing anything anyways. Let's see. Let's see if people have been listening. I should have, what's the time? 11:42. I should have checked. Yeah, 11:42. So I start checking from. Okay. Who was the last person now? Anyway, I think you're the first person. All right. The first person that said why, Godwin, I'm going to bring you up. You're going to tell us why you said why you said yes. Now, the first person that said no, which is Shay, I'm also going to bring you up and let us know why you said your answer is no. Let's just know. So, Godwin, would you like to please come up and let us know why you said yes?
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Good
Good
morning
afternoon.
from here.
Good morning.
Okay, so to me, I feel they are just mentioned interchangeably. UI UX, UI UX designer, and product designer. But on a normal, if for technically, they
Mm-hmm.
almost do the same thing. What a UI, the only thing a UI UX has to do is um, learn some of the basics of what a product designer does. So from your definition, you said the product designer is a combination of UI and UX. You know, they craft and complete the user journey for a product. And when the product has been launched, you know, they further follow it up to find out um, um, through information, architecture, empathy map, user persona. So all of these things, the product designer can also do it. It's just, I just feel like these are just names and hierarchy in in designing websites, applications, you know, so that different people can actually have different things to do when it comes to designing apps, so that you know a particular set of people are not just doing almost the same thing. So that's what I understand.
Thank you very, very much, Godwin, for that attempt. Thank you very much. We'll get to know if you're correct or if you're wrong. All right. I think the first person who actually said, thank you very much. I think the next first person who said for a no. And please, guys, if I'm actually mistaken, please do well to let me know that no, I picked the wrong person. I think the person is Shay. Yeah, Shay. Shay, please could you tell us why you said it's a no? That a UI designer cannot do the job of a product designer. Can you tell us why it's a no?
Okay, thank you. So, from my understanding of the role or the job of a product designer, so a product designer does the work of both a UI designer and a UX designer. So, according to your definition, he works on the aesthetics as well as functionality of the design. So the I'm guessing the UI design is the aesthetics, and then the UX is the functionality of the app or website or whatever the person is designing and all. So if that's the role or the job of a product designer, and then you have a UI designer, I feel like the UI designer will not be able to do the complete work. I mean, he'll be able to do some part of the work, but he won't be able to do the complete work of the product designer, because you still require the services of a UX designer, to complete it. So that's my reason for choosing no.
Okay, thank you very much, Shay. Well spoken. Thank you very much. We'll get to know who obviously is the winner. All right, so guys, but what do you guys think before I obviously unveil who the winner is and give a reasons to it? Why? If you think that Shay basically said the right thing, please give a love sign. And if you think that Godwin actually said the right thing, please give a thumbs up. So if you think Shay said the right thing, give a love sign. If you think Godwin said the right thing, please give a thumbs up, guys. Okay, great stuff. I can see the thumbs up. I can also see the love sign. Now let's see. Let's see obviously who won this. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, go. The answer is no. Congratulations, Shay. You have won. Shay, where are you? What's your location?
I'm in Lagos,
Great stuff.
Nigeria.
You have won the 5,000 naira that covers. So you see, join master.
Thank you.
Just won your discount. So Shay, please do well to send me, DM me your account details on the group chat, the Techman Academy. Just send me, and I would definitely credit you to them. Please, when you actually get it, do well to confirm in the group so that everybody will know it's not audio money. All right, thank you very much, Godwin, for actually making that great attempt. Thank you. At some point you were right, but at some point you went off. I know that, I understand. Let's address it and know why the answer is a no. Remember, let's go back to the UI design, where UI design is. We said that UI stands for user interface. It's all about visual elements the user can interact with. Now, the question is, can a UI designer do the job? It's very tricky. Can a UI designer do the job of a product designer? That means you already would have been a product designer. You would have also known the skill of both UI and UX. And then the other additional things a product designer does. So obviously you would have known that. But if I had said, can a UI designer also become a product designer? That means you can become by upgrading yourself in that skill to do the things of a product designer. It was just a very tricky one. I know that. I don't know if you understand my definitions to that and why it's a no. And Godwin, please, if you do understand now, could you please just signify either on chat or you can meet yourself. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Now let's move over to the next activity for today. All right. All right, so we're going to talk about what are the skills you need to have as a UI UX designer. Now we're going to divide that into soft skills and hard skills. Now, the soft skills you need to have are transferable skills. So that's why I said it's a very entry level tech field you can act, because most of the things, either as a management or as a healthcare personnel, you get to transfer all these things, into or maybe you studied mass communication. So that means you must be a very good communicator. Now you must communicate effectively what your thought process of why you came up with this design. So in UI UX, that's why I say it's far from graphics. It's not you just designing. There's always going to be why I did this. Why I did, okay, I positioned this here so that when users come in, it's easier for them to get to see, it's better for them to interact with this. So you must be a very good communicator on your idea on why you did that, which aligns with what the client wants as well. Now you must also have empathy. So whether you work as a carer or something and all that, or you're a doctor or you're a nurse, one of the soft skills you should have is you should be able to put yourself in people's in people's place, try to understand their pain points, and in that way you can help get solution. So these are transferable skills you can actually get, from whatever field, whether you're an engineer, because I know we do have engineers here. You must be a problem solver, a critical thinker. Remember, you also need to be able to think of solutions to be able to get that done. But no need to worry, because you may ask, I really don't, I'm just starting. How do I do this? There are a lot of resources right on the internet that you can actually use to be able to get inspirations, all right? Either through Behance, through Dribble, through Pinterest. There are so many of them which would all go through when we start the training. So you can get ideas and then you can add yours and create something amazing. Now, you should also be a good team player. I believe this is something that almost everything, whether in church or wherever place you find yourself, you need to work with teams. Now, the hard skill you need to have is learn at least one UI UX design tool. And I'll explain to you why I chose Figma and tell you, I may be biased, but I'll tell you why Figma was chosen. I asked that many of you do how to create an account, but you need to learn design. So I'll also let you know other design tools as well. You also need to know how to conduct user researches, conduct information architecture, prototyping, usability testing. Usability testing is to be able to, before any product is being sent off or handed over to a developer, a software engineer, users have to test it. Now you may ask how. It's just designed. Remember I talked about prototyping. It's testing the functionality of what you have designed. If I click on this, what happens next? If I click on this, what happens next? You can actually do that in UI UX. And then once the users have tested it to say, okay, I think when I click on this, I feel better if it goes into this. So you record what the user is saying, and then you can actually use whatever feedback they've given to be able to reiterate and make that digital product very user-friendly and meet your users' expectations. Then you can hand over to the software engineers who will now then code that or program that to bring that to life. There are also many other hard skills that are not be mentioned here, like personas, empathy. By now, I've said that much earlier, but I just didn't want here to all be very, I didn't want a lot of information overload here. But these are the skills you need to have. It's very easy, guys, to get in. But I will say, as much as it's an easy tech skill to get in, do not be deceived. You also need to be able to put in effort as well. There is no skill out there that you just do lackadaisically and you come out great. There's a lot of jobs out there, but they need very skillful people who can actually do those jobs because the money is high. Now, let's move on to the next slide, which talks about the UI designer entry-level earnings. So what I did was I had to use Glassdoor, which is a very well-recognized platform, to be able to get average earnings, from different countries or from a particular different occupation, basically their earnings. So I took one from Nigeria, one from the UK, and one from the US. So regardless of where you're joining us from, you can also use Glassdoor. But just if I have to keep doing, we have someone that is from Czech here, we have people from the US here, we have people when they signed up from different parts of the world, Ghana and the rest of them. I don't know if they are here now because I've been basically projected why someone else is admitting them. So I just had to take 3 just for you to understand what it looks like to earn. And remember, you can actually be any part of the world and you can still earn this money, because beautiful part about UI UX is you can work remotely. You can work hybrid. You can also go to the office if you want. Many of the jobs are done remotely for any part of the world. Now, this is what an entry level, depending on organization, depending on location. Remember, it's just an average. It may not be the actual amount, but it's an average of what an entry level UI UX designer or product designer. You can see this is being updated 1st of May 2024, so it's quite current. $77,000 US to $127,000 US. Now, this is just an entry level. You've had a couple of months of experience after training or less than a year experience. So this is something you stand to earn, even if you're in Nigeria. You can actually apply for jobs in the US and you still get them as far as you're skillful and you pass through the interview and everything. So you see, it's a lot of money. If you convert this, for those in Nigeria, convert this now, your calculator it will go gaga how much you stand to earn. Now, for those in the UK, because I do understand that a lot of persons in the UK, this is also an average. It could be a bit less, it could be a bit more, but this is just an average base. So this is not, so do not quote me unquote. This is not, what it might be. It may be just a bit less, but it doesn't pass this level as an entry level. So it saves a lot of money. At least I think it's good enough to start. Now in Nigeria, I know you say 163,000. It's still a big money because a lot of jobs in Nigeria, some are earning less than that. But all I'm trying to say, basically, it's just an average. I know of someone who has actually done UI UX and in Nigeria, and the N250 are starting base salary. Some 200, some more than that, 400K. I have someone who obviously who has 2 years of experience in UI UX and is earning 800,000 naira and works from home. I think basically just goes to the office on the island only when needed, or maybe there's a client or one big board meeting or wherever. He probably just goes to work for that. So everything is also based on location, is based on the size of a company and all that. So the beautiful thing about UI UX is that you can actually work, you can work 2 jobs. Because if it's remote, you can be working one in Nigeria, or you're doing whatever you're doing as your job, because I believe that most of us maybe have our current jobs that we're doing. So you can be doing that, and then at night or whenever you're back from work, you can be doing the other part of it. So that's the beauty of UI. The flexibility is amazing. All right, so moving over to I hope you guys were excited about that one. So moving over to the design tools comparison. What are the design tools you need to be able to learn to be able to become a UI UX or a product designer? Now, there are several tools out there, the Invisions, we've got Freeman's, and they're whole out there, but there are 3 that are always boosting each other. I know that as the 3 most popular design tool, but I think one has obviously won it, which is Figma, because it's widely accepted. And that's the reason I actually asked that we all get Figma. A lot of companies want people who actually have, who actually know Figma and all that. But remember, learning Figma does not make you a UI UX designer. All right, but you basically now know the tools to be able to create this amazing product, either a website, a landing page, mobile app, and so have you. So it's very easy to learn, it's very easy to use. it has got a collaborative feature. The collaborative feature that works in real time is you can have your colleagues, all right, in Jamaica, you can have in Spain, in Italy, in Nigeria, in the UK, and you guys can actually collaborate in designing a particular thing. So take it as your social media account, like your Facebook, right? You know, it's just only you that can actually access your own page, not what people can see when you post your own page and all that. So imagine when everyone can actually type the same place you type, right, on your own page. That collaborative feature is amazing because you as a team can actually work together to get jobs done. Now, for those of many of you that would obviously be enrolling into the training and all that, we would also be using that because I'll be here in the UK and then everyone joining any part of the world, we'll all be using the Figma together, and I can actually see your work at real time. I can drop comments to say, okay, hi Shay, I think you need to adjust your, maybe for example, maybe adjust your line height or adjust this button size, you know, and you can also reply back to me. It's like a text message as well. You can reply back to me and say, okay, done now, please review, you know, things like that, which is amazing. So that's one of the benefits, and a lot of companies have seen that, okay, if we can actually do this, there's no need for UI UX designers or product designers to come to work because we can actually interact using the platform. Then the beautiful part about it is it has got an extensive plugin library that can help you do your job. I'll get into that. For those of us that will be joining into the main training, we will get to dissect every single thing. And remember, please do have to stay to the ending of the class because that's when I'll be unveiling how it works, the registration when we are starting, you know, the partly funded scholarship, how everything is going to work. It's amazing. Trust me, it's nothing to fear about. So when I say partly funded, don't think you know, is it going to, no. It's something you are going to be like, well, this is very, this thing, no. Okay, so and then last thing is free to use. Now let's move into the Figma Design Practical, which is the very exciting part of it. But before we move into the Figma Design Practical, I'd like to please bring in, I'd like to bring on Mr. Prince. He's a software engineer with years and years and years of experience, very renowned, very proficient in his industry. Mr. Prince, are you here? Please, he'll be coming to give us a talk. I welcome Kofi. He got joined us from Ghana. Welcome. He's going to give us a talk on what the importance of UI UX in today's industry and how we all collaborate together to ensure that mobile app are done. Now, another way to understand what a UI UX is, think of it as an architecture. All right. So an architect rather would design, you know, make designs, right? And then pass it over to an engineer who will look at what an architect has designed and bring that to life. So in case you ever get confused again what UI UX is, which I know you wouldn't because everyone said yes, they do understand. That's another way to understand what UI UX or product designer is. Okay. So Mr. Prince, I'll bring you up right now. Over to you. Please let us know, educate us on the benefits and working together as a UI UX with software developers. Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Thank you for this. This is nice. You know, good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me very well, right? If you can hear me, give us
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
All right, awesome stuff. Thank you. I've been listening very attentively what Mr. George has been saying. This is like you guys are receiving a milestone. You know, is something that is very important. This in this part of the world, you know, with a lot of things happening right now, AI stuffs are going fast. The tech world is moving rapidly. So I just have a few minutes to just share with us quickly so you understand what you're doing, basically. Because I believe that one of the most important things is if you understand what you want to do, you put more effort in doing it because understanding is very important, right? So if you don't understand, you just come here and just go and just leave it like that. So you're equipping yourself for a life of, okay, let me start with the benefit. One of the benefits of what we want to do, you're equipping yourself with a life of freedom, basically, right? Flexibility, having your time is something that is very important. You know, you can basically work, like you said, you can work from anywhere in the world. You can stay anywhere you want to do. You can have your, like, family man, you can stay with your family. You can do whatever you want to do. And that alone is a benefit. Right? Apart from the money aspect of you make money, so don't worry, you make money once you keep doing it, advancing yourself, you make money. Money is not the problem, but the most important thing for me is the freedom that comes with it, right? The ability for you to choose where you want to do, where you want to work, where you want. You can wake up in the morning and say, okay, I want to travel and live. I want to go to Dubai, stay in Dubai for 3 months and chill while you are still working. No stress, right? This is the goal. This is what we want to achieve, basically. So that is a very big tool. So I want to bring in I don't have slide like Mr. George. Mr. George has slide. Sorry, I don't have slide, right? But I want to just, I think when it comes to, if we get to that aspect of, moving to the taking it to a higher level, then we'll get to that aspect, because my aspect is mostly, we do the theory, but it's mostly hands-on practicals. You do it hands-on and see this. Okay. So in terms of UI, US product design, matching with software development. So let me start. I'm an engineer. I'm a software engineer. Um, with years of experience, we built products that are being used. Like you said, products. If I call product, don't mean it's not like biscuit or anything, right? Product is digital products. That the product can be a website, an app, everything, mobile app, web app. So let me give a quick example. Uh, Website is like normal website where you have maybe something, maybe an info about someone, right? That's a website, basic website. That's what we call web app. Web app is basically a website that has what business logic behind it, right? There's a business logic behind it. Basically, you can, for example, e-commerce. If you go to Amazon, this is not a website; it's a web app. So why is it a website? Because you can do interaction, you can buy things, you can transact, you can do business logic behind that as a web application. So mobile app is what you do on the phone. Mobile app, the app you download. So the different, both of them does, the web app and the mobile app does the same thing, but the difference is that is, so you download the app for mobile. Why this one you did it on the web, basically. So the difference, that's the, if you, someone asking what's a website, if you go to Jumia to shop or go to Amazon to shop, you are shopping with a web application. If you're doing it on the, if you're downloading the app, you're dealing with a mobile app, basically. So that's just a big example of difference between those things. So how does this thing come together? How do we work together? So there is no isolation between these things. So if someone the tech world is so much connected that everything comes together. Like an engineer, I need a design from the UI US. I need a design from the UI and US people to work with, right? So what does an engineer do? A software engineer. A software engineer translates those things that the UI US designer have done into what practical things, life, bring life to it. It's like a skeleton. Like for example, like you said, the architect. You are the architect, the UI and the US designer, product engineers, product designer, they are what the architects. They do the mapping, the design. Why a software engineer is what the builder, the contractor that does the work itself, right? You're the one that will translate those things and bring life to it, because you cannot live in what uh like you said, there's a prototype. You can prototype the UI using like architect, you have those their prototype they do, right? Those small building prototype, but you can't actually live in those things. But those things give you idea of what we look like. But it's the engineer that will bring life to those things, that will give you life to all those business. So basically that's where those things come together. So the UI US design, the UI US designer design those things, bring life. They think as a user. We think logically, right? You think as a user, the practical user that will use the product, basically. How will the user interact with this? Is me, for example, I'm not worried about how the color will look like. That's not my issue. I'm not worried about where this will be. I'm worried about will the business need be met. That's my issue. Will it solve the problem, which it must? So your own is to give those ideas. That's why there's no one that is much important than other. Like everyone is together. So I don't think that as an engineer, I have more power than you. No, let me give an example now. Like in my office, we have the product designer. So if we don't sign off from this, don't sign off, we can't design, we can't build, right? So we have to come together. I have to sign off. Say, I can build. Sometimes there's one thing that I have some a war with the designer. So what happened is that he designed and I built according to what I technically this is how it's supposed to look like. But he said, no, I'm building for technical. No, this is that's as a user, it doesn't work for the person like that. So you have to come what together and marry ourselves so that what we can build a product that is beautiful, that is good for everyone, basically. So you might have the best business logic, you might have the best idea, but the way you present that idea will not make it sense. So you are at the core because visually interaction is the thing that brings the user. All right. So you are the core of the whole thing. So if the UI is not fine, because right now UI is a goal now. They spend more time. We spend more time in my team. We spend more time working on the UI because it's the thing. Users need to interact with it. Apart from the logic, if the interaction, simplicity of the interaction, getting answers to what I need, basically. If I go to a website and see there's a lot of information happening there, that is a very big, like me, I hate filling big forms. If I go to, I see large forms are already off, right? So your work is to, if I go there, I look at the website, I know the exact, looking at the landing page immediately, the hero section, I know what the product is all about. That's the work of what a UI, US and product designer, because they know this, they put this thing at the hero section, the heading, which type of heading do we use, what type of color do we use, what do we marry, like branding all together. That's what they do basically. So that's what will come together. So as we are going forward, if you want to transition from only, if you want to transition, there's a transition. If you want to just I do design, so I do my, I'm not I'm not like Mr. George that is fully on product designing, right? If you want to, my own aspect is the development, engineering, architecture of it, building it to like bringing life to the technical aspect of it. But I also am a designer too. I design, I do my design, Figma and all those stuff, but that's not my core strength, right? But if you want, there's a marriage, if you want to transition from those things, so from UI, US, interface, from there moving to development is very easy for you to do. So once you understand, because all of them is, we have the same terminology. Once you understand the flow, you can what, move off, we can move in from that place. So the thing is that UI US design is the architect, while software development what is the what, the big, the building block, building it together and bringing life to it. So let me quickly, before I round off, in terms of software development, we have two aspects of it. We have the back end, we have the front end. And if you are doing the thing, we call, if you're doing the both of them, we call it full stack. I'm a full stack engineer. I do back and front. So what is back end? Back end deals with what, the ones you can't see, is the business logic, where the logic is all about, where you interact with database, you do with the logics and all those things. Where if for example, if you make an order on Amazon, how does those orders, how do you know that, how do you receive your email, how does those things send forth, how do you know that to collect the amount, collect the tax, collect the payments? That is the back end. That's where the infrastructure, those things happen inside. That's the logic part of it. That's the business logic of the most thing. So that's where it is. So that's the back end. If you're talking about database, storing information, authentication, logging, all those things, this is the back end. Like this thing we're using right now, like Teams, Google Meet are using to make call. How do you show your face? How does if I talk, it captures my voice? If I want to share, if I give interaction, the back end does all those things. That's the back end that gives the logic. What is the front end? The front end is what, the visual aspect, what users will see. So you can't have the logic without the front end. No, because the logic will not use itself, right? You need the front end for the logic to come to life, right? So the front end is what, where we work mostly and with the UI UX designers. So front end engineers work mostly with the UI and UX designers. So what they do is that they translate those, they're in the middle, right? They bring the logic and they bring the UI UX together. So the design that the UI people are doing, the logic that the backend has done, they marry it together. So that when you click on the button, it sends that information to the backend, and what, it gives you the result you want. So that's the work of the front end. The front end marries the whole thing together. So the front end is about what you can see, what the users can see. Make sure that the design is fine on the web, it's on the mobile, everything is fine. So that's where two of them come together. So if you want to, there are people that, like I do the both back and front, we call it full stack. Full stack engineer is the one that does, you do the back end with the front end, you marry everything together. So you are good in the back, you are good in the front. So that's the full stack engineer. So there's a lot of possibilities. So like you said, like we are doing now, most time the UI UX designers, they transition to what, the front end engineer, because it's visual. So it's easier for you to transition to that field. So as we are going, you will see your expectation will start, broadly. Once you start doing the practical, the thing will start getting sweet, because you are seeing what you are building. If you like seeing what you are building, you are here, you're in the right place. So you see, so your expectation starts growing. So as we move on, as we go forward, there's a lot of things to do, there's a lot of possibilities. So I urge everyone here, make sure you are into it. Like, let me drop you with this thing. For example, when I was starting off, I'm like giving practical. When I was starting off, I won't tell you it's easy. It's not easy, right? You have to put in the work, right? You have to put in the work. So even apart from the one you practical you be doing, you have to spend time on your own. Make sure you're putting the work. Look at design, translate those design through the ones people. You look at some people website you like, bring them, translate them. That's how you build yourself. That's how you build your this portfolio. It's not going to be. But what I assure you is that by the time you start chopping those money, you'll forget about the stress you have, right? And it's a fast-paced environment. Things are growing every time. So if you are someone that don't like learning, you have to change the attitude. You want to make sure you're always on the toe, reading, learning, and make sure you're developing yourself. And it's going to be you have a best teacher, you have a very good teacher, so don't worry. So you're in good hands. So I urge everyone here, please make sure you put in the best. You read by the time you finish this course, you have portfolio, you have things you've designed that you can use and start getting job. Figma, Fiverr, you can enter Fiverr, freelancing. There's a lot of opportunities for you to do. So, and as we are going forward, we're trusting God to help us to transition into people that want to move into the software development aspect. We'll bring that into, then you can start building those things, developing yourself, building those things, and we'll get there. Thank you so much, and I wish everyone here the best. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Prince. Well said. You've just said every single thing. You've been able to open our eyes. And for everyone who now, at least now everyone understands how we all connect. So we connect, we all work together with software engineers, we work together with product managers, with scrum masters, with product owners. So it's a very big team. So you're not just alone. Thank you very much for explaining and making everyone to understand. And just to add to what he said, yes, you can actually transition from UI UX into becoming a developer. But now, if you don't like code, I know Mr. Prince enjoys it. He enjoys coding and all those things. If you don't understand it, it scatters your head. Don't worry. There are things called no code too. All right. Now you can actually, whatever you've designed on Figma, you can actually convert that design with using no code tools like Framer and the rest of them, and it would become like as if you've coded it live and you can launch it live. So that's another added advantage you also get. So we have people obviously who may want to take that additional step, to learn no code tools after they've learned UI UX designer, and then if the job or UI UX come, you collect it. If they say make it come to life, you just transition what you have designed into the live mode. You collect that money again. This money must be made. All right. So guys, thank you very much, Mr. Prince, for obviously granting us that audience and impacting us with that knowledge. All right, let's now then move into. I'm going to share my screen now, and I'm going to then we move into the practical. So please do well to let me know if you can see my screen. If you can see my screen, please do let me know. Anyone can let me know, please. Can you also
Yes, I can see it.
Great stuff. So it says Figma Design Practical. So we're going to go in shortly to have a feel. What does this UI UX everyone has been talking about, product design? How do you even do this thing? So we don't want to just talk and then digest it. We want to also give you an idea that like, okay, this is what it looks like, and then you can actually ginger it. It's okay, yes, you know what, I want to learn this skill. I want to transition into becoming a UI UX designer. So if you actually created an account, please just put up a Y on the chat box if you did, and if you did not, just put up an N. So start getting your accounts ready, sign up, and we'll start going through because you're going to design with me in class. But for those of you, so yeah, put up a Y if you've actually created an account on Figma. Just put up a Y on the comment section, please, just so I know number of persons. Okay, great stuff. I can see what time is it? 2016. Okay. All right. So yes. Okay. I can see a few no's. Oh, wow. Okay. I can see a lot of yes. That's very good. We are more than this here. Someone has got a question. Who is that? Let me see. Someone just clicked. Okay, maybe it's a mistake. Okay, I can see a lot of persons have said wise, and just a few have said no. So it shows that a lot of us obviously did create an account. But guys, don't worry. If you did not create an account, or I know, for example, Ben reached out to me, had one or two and other issues. Like I said, we will definitely meet and I'll help you resolve that. Okay, do not worry about it. And any of you who had any issue, please reach out to me privately. I will guide you to be able to ensure that you create that account. But still learn and listen, because there's still a lot of things you're going to learn. And remember, okay, Jesse, you did it, no problem. Just pay attention, obviously. Remember, at the end of the practical session, we'll come back again to the slide, and then I'll walk you through on how you get started and how you can actually access the partly funded scholarship and everything. That's a very big information that it's waiting at the end. So please do well to stay behind. All right. So for those of us who have actually created an account, let's dive into it. And for those who did not create an account, just watch. I'll try to see how I can actually, we're recording now. I'll try to see possibility of getting this link ready, and I would post that. Now, Kennedy, you said you created that on your phone. Great, but you would have to use a laptop. So yeah, for those of you actually creating an account, please, you need to use a laptop. So if you can actually use if you're joining us with your phone, you can have us join with your phone and your laptop. You don't need to connect that to the internet at the moment. But that's if you, or you can connect that to the internet. If you downloaded the app, you don't need an internet to start with to design. But if you actually created the accounts, www or Figma, you definitely need the internet to log in. And then you would design together. But if for whatever reason you're not able to follow up on the design aspect, just watch and learn. We'll make this video link available hopefully at the end of the class, and you can actually go through it, while watching it and design. But please do watch. All right, great stuff. So this is the Figma. I believe we've all saw this landing page. Could we put up an N if when you logged in and it brought you to this page? This is called a dashboard. If you actually saw this by the time you logged in, please drop a Y on the section. If you actually saw this when you logged in, which is a dashboard, this is the Figma dashboard. If you saw this, put up a Y. If you saw something else, put up an N. Let's see what you saw. Okay, great stuff. I can see a lot of persons put up a Y, so we're on the right track. Now, this is Figma. This is one of the tools that you use to build different amazing products. Remember, we said products are web applications, your website, your landing pages, your mobile apps. This is where all the magic happens, all right? Figma is one of the tools that is widely accepted, and it is free. We also have got a paid version, but trust me, you really do not need that. But there are benefits to that. I mean, that's when you get to those kind of things, but you can actually do anything you want to do for free without having to ever subscribe to the paid version. Now, I wouldn't spend so much time explaining every single tool, but I would, just because of time, but I would definitely do that when you enroll into the platform. I'll explain every single thing because I want you to know it all. All right. So on the left side of your dashboard, this basically is just your profile settings. You can change your theme to dark theme for those of you who have got light sensitivity and all that. You can change that. So this just is very self-explanatory. Your settings, you can log out and the rest of that. Obviously, this is your teams as well. If you've created like different teams, like maybe for example, you have a project you're working with, with a team, maybe for a fintech app or for an e-commerce, right? So you can just create a team. You can see this is where you create your team and all that, and then it would appear. We're already on the teams page. It would appear here. You can also decide to create a team here, and then it would also show, but we will not go with that for now. All right, so this obviously is for the free plan. If you want to ever migrate to professional organization, like I said, you can actually use the starter, which is free and it's free forever. So you don't need to worry yourself. But if there are reasons why you need this one, like for example, the dev mode. If, for example, you want to transition from UI UX into a no-code software developer, no code meaning that you can actually make that design you have done, make it live without having to write any programming. So when they say, can you create a website for me? After you've designed it, you chop the money of the development too. Then you may need this professional one. You may likely need that. You need that because with that, you can get the HTML code. That's for the developers as well. But without that, even you can still also design with another no code too without having to pay for this, because a lot of companies are beginning to make things much easier. Remember, I said one of the reasons why Figma is chosen is the fact that it's got a lot of plugins, a lot of resources that you can use. So without that, you can use Framer, which is a plugin, and then you can convert that design into a functional app to use. All right, so now what we are going to do is this. We're going to click on design file. It's at the topmost right hand of the screen of the dashboard. It's called design file with a blue button. So you're just going to click on that and click on draft. Did you see what I did? You click on that and you click on draft. I'm just going to go back again. So you click on the design file and then it would open. Are we all there? Can we see the same thing that you're seeing that's showing on my screen? If you can all see that, please pop up a Y, just so I know that we are all following. No problem, Cynthia. No problem. Can we all get the same? Your screen is frozen. Okay. All right. Let me stop sharing and share again. All right. I'm sorry. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Okay. So I'm sharing my screen now. Can you actually see my screen? If you can see my screen, please pop up a Y. Are you actually see where I am right now? Did you know how I got to this place? Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Ys. I don't know if that's recently. Okay, I think, yeah. All right, so if in case if maybe you don't know how I got it, just please call my attention. Okay, why? But call my attention, unmute your mic and let me know just in case. All right, I can see that everyone is here. So this is what.
I don't know how you got there.
Okay, you don't know how I got there. Thank you very much. All right, so I'm just going to go back for benefit of those who actually did not see how I got there. Can you see where I am now? Is this where you are? Is this where you
Yes.
are? Great stuff. All you need to do is, can you see the design file with a plus sign here on the right corner, right top corner? So
Yes, I can see.
Once you click on it, it should open up this. Have you done that?
Yes, I have.
Great stuff. So I think, okay, Gosri, you say you can't see. Can everyone actually see my screen? Please unmute your mic if you can all see my screen. Great stuff. Okay, Gosri, can you still see my screen at the moment? Thank you, guys. Gosri, can you still see my screen at the moment? Gospel, are you there? Can you still see my? Okay, great. You can see my screen now. Great stuff. All right, so this is what the Figma 2 platform looks like. Now I'm going to explain what all these sections are. Right now, it looks nothing, but this is where the magic are being created. All right, now on the top side of it, this is called the toolbar. This is where we pick up the tools that we need, and I'm going to try to not touch everything because of time, but just touch the important things that we're going to use to create something. So this is called the toolbar. Now the toolbar, this is where you have your frame sizes, things like if you want to build a mobile phone, you can see once you click the frame, so if you click the frame, something pops up here. You can see this is called the property bar. All right, this is called the toolbar. This is called the property bar. This center side of it is called the editor. All right, and then the left side is called the layer panel. So you can call this the two panel, layer panel, editor, and property panel. I'll repeat that again. This is the two panel where you get all your tools like your shapes and text and different things. It's called your two panel. Here it's called your layer panel. Here it's called your editor, the middle side of it, and on the right side of it is called your property panel. All right. So you can see that once I clicked on frame, this hash sign, all right, we can see that if you're trying to create different types of screen sizes, what I mean screen sizes, for example, your phone, there's a screen size to it. Your laptop, there's a screen size to it. Your iPad, there's a screen size to it. Your desktop, your laptop, things like that, you have different screen size to it. That when you create on it, it can fit on those screen sizes, the display. All right. So if you were to create a phone screen, if you click on the drop down, you see different sizes of screen. You've got the iPhones, the 14, the 15s, the 13s. For those who are my Android users, we are in the same team. My iPhone users, we are all in the same team. You can actually also create for both Android phones or iPhones as well. So any screen you want. So if I select on this, for example, it shows me the screen. This is the screen size you actually would design on. Now, if I go back here to say, okay, let me design for an Android screen, if I click on any of them, it shows me an Android screen. So whatever I'm designing will be here. Now, let's go back again and see what a tablet will look like. So if I click on any tablet, maybe an iPad Pro 11, if I click on that, it shows me this is the screen size of an iPad Pro 11. If I come back to the frame and I want to design for a desktop, if I click on that and I say a desktop screen, now a desktop screen is usually like the very standard for laptops and all that. But if you're building specifically for Apple products like MacBooks and all that, you can also select any of this. So if it's a MacBook you've got, this is the size. It may look small, but trust me, it's not. You know, and all that. It's not. If you zoom this, it's quite big and all that. If it's a desktop as well, desktop is, so when we are designing, we like to say use a desktop because the desktop resolution size fits almost every screen and all that. So if a desktop, which is for your laptops Either it's Microsoft or Ubuntu or iOS, Apple, it all would fit to use a desktop. So these are the different screen sizes and many more. If you, as a UI UX designer, I mentioned it's, we don't only just design for, you know, websites, web applications, mobile apps, even your Apple Watch. You can actually design that here as well. Everything, a UI UX designer does all these things and all that. So it's beyond just that. So you can see if you scroll down to watches, you can have the Apple Watch 41 millimeters, 45, and the rest of it for those of you who are the Apple Watch users. If you understand how we navigated all through this, if you understand, I'm going to ask a question just so that everyone is following and all that. But if you understand, please drop a Y on the comments section. You understand so far? Drop a Y on the comment section. Okay. Great. Okay, I can see a lot of Ys. Great stuff. So I'm happy that everyone is following. And please, if I'm talking too fast, talking too slow, you do not understand, put up a question on the chat box. And if for any reason I'm not able to see that, just raise your hand. It would signify me that there's a question. Thank you very much. Great stuff. Now I'm going to ask you my question. Let me see if anyone. I'm going to pick up someone randomly, and I'm going to ask you something for you to tell me. 4 people. I'm going to pick 4 people randomly. Let me go to. So I'm just going to pick up the first. I'll pick up 4 people just randomly and all that. Merit. Could you tell me exactly what this is? So what this panel? What is this panel? Could you please tell us what the panel is? What it's called? Hi, Merit, are you there? Could you please unmute your mic? Because I wouldn't know if you're speaking. Could you please unmute your mic and tell me what this panel is? Okay, two panel. Okay, good stuff. All right, I think you just chatted that, but it would be nice to unmute so that I know, because I may not know that you've said something. All right, let me bring up someone else. Let me see. Kofi. Tuba, Jesse, you're correct. That's correct, Tuba. Kofi, could you please tell me what this panel is called? This panel on your left side, what is it called? Kofi, are you there? Not. Oh no, you've answered too much. I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to say if it's correct or not for now. I'm going to keep quiet. I don't know. I wouldn't answer. I wouldn't say anything, Kofi. But thank you very much for making that input. I really appreciate that. Keep doing that. Kofi, are you there? Okay, let me pick up someone else. Obina. On your left side, what's it called? What's this left panel called? The left side, what's it called? Okay. But we all said we knew these things now. No problem. I'll go over it again. All right. So this is called the 2 panel, guys. The top part is called the 2 panels. That's where you get to pick up things like your shapes, you know, your frame sizes, and so many more we'll go through soon. This is called your layers, your layer panel. In fact, the expo was already here. All right. So this is called your layer panel. Whatever you bring in here, it appears here. If I take off all of this, let me take off all of this. You can see as I take off, it goes off. Whatever I bring in here, it comes in. So it's your layer. So it's all the different things you brought in, either your text, even down to your shapes, which we'll go through. This is your layer panel. This is your 2 panel. The center is your editor. That's where the magic happens. And on the right is called your property panel. All right, let's move on. So this obviously is your shapes. So you can draw different shapes. Your line, you know, your polygon, which is known as triangle, your eclipse, which is known as cycle, and all that. You can also get to import images or videos into Figma as well if you click on this one. Okay. This is also called your pen or pencil tool. We will not go through this now. I will go through this, how to use this when you basically enroll for the class. This is your text tool, where you basically type hi. When you type, I know you can't see that now, but if I increase, if you come to your property, It's just like your Word, when you're trying to text on your Word document. You come to this and I increase, let's say 50. Okay, let me increase like 500. It's too small. So you can see, watch, I thought I typed high. Okay, so you can get to see, you can actually increase that. But you don't need to increase up to 500. That's too much. I was just trying to make you understand. So if I zoom in, I can actually get to see what I have written. So this is your text. This is your resources. Remember I talked about that. One beautiful thing about Figma is that it has got a collection of different resources. We will not spend time on this, but we'll talk about that for those of you who will be joining the class. I know I missed up this. This basically is to move. This first one, your move, is basically to move. Okay, let me draw something. This is basically to move items. So when you select this, you can move an item. If I select this hand too, I can't move an item. Rather, it moves the whole editor. So it moves around. So if I've designed different things, it would move them around. Okay, you move them around for me to see different things. You can see, I can see the different things that I actually put in there before. All right, but I can't select an element. Now in Figma or UI UX design, each of these are called elements. Whether it's a text, a button, or shapes or whatever, images, they're all called elements. So I can select each element and move them wherever I want it to be. Okay. This is also called comments. I remember I talked about that. It's a very collaborative feature that you can actually get to comment. So I could, let's say, for example, Glory. Hi, Glory. So you just say, for example, if Glory had done a job for me, maybe a UI page or design page, and I wanted to give a comment to it, I could say, hi, Glory, great work. Kindly adjust the button size. Come on. Yeah, kindly adjust the button size. And I can tag Glory to this comment and all that. And once I send it, Glory will receive it on her own Figma. And she will immediately receive it to say that, oh, TechMind Academy has said, hi, Glory, great work. And she can actually reply back here to say, all done. And when she can also send pictures as well. You can also type in, get pick image, upload images and all that there. She can say all done, add smileys and all that, and send to me. And wherever I am in part of the world, I will get it in real time. Immediately she sends it, I'm getting that immediately. So this is one of the beautiful collaborative factors of using UI UX. Now, I will not go through all this now, but I'll do that when we get into the main class. Now, the design properties, some of them would be spoken about when I will start designing something, just so that we keep to time. Okay, we'll start designing something. So I'm just going to take off all of this and show you exactly what a landing page looks like. So I just have to create a very simple landing page to talk about what a landing page looks like and tell you what exactly we are going to be designing in today's class. So let me quickly open that up. Give me a second. All right. Can you all see my screen? Please, can someone unmute their mic to let me know if they can see my screen?
Yes.
Great stuff.
I can see your screen.
Thank you. Great stuff. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So this is what a landing page looks like. All right. So you design all of these elements. Remember, I said elements can be your logos, can be text, it can be buttons, it can be your images, the shapes. These are all different elements. So you design this. So this is before a website or a landing page or an application is being built. You design this thing here. All right. And then when you design it, people can actually get to see what's when you design it, pass it over to developers who will then bring it to life. Now, remember I talked about prototyping. Now, this has not been prototyped yet, but if there was a prototype done here, if I click on this, it should take me, okay, let's do something quickly. Let's see if we could do something quickly. Let me prototype this one. If I click on prototype, and let's say if I click on this page, take me to this page, and I'm just going to wipe off all of this, maybe the first part, so you know that this is the second page, right? So once I do that, let me play. Let me know if you can see my screen.
Yes, I can see your screen.
Yes.
Great stuff. Now for prototype, now prototype just one button. Okay. Remember I said if I click on this, I have to take this up, which I would explain what this up section is called. All right. Now I said if I click on this, it will work as if this is already a real website. But if I click on, I took up on the second one just to show you. If I click on this, you can see that's taking you to the next page. It works like magic, like you've basically just done what a website would do, or a web application. So you can prototype all this and it will work. So these are the things you get to do. You test the functionality as a UI UX designer with users, and once everything is okay, then there's a handover and a sign off that goes to the developer to bring that to life. But we're not going to be talking about prototyping today. I just wanted to give you, just to create that excitement of what it looks like. Also, I'm also going to show you what a mobile app would look like when you're designing. So just give me a second. Let me open that to one of project that I've done. Like, give me a second. Where is it? I think it's here. It's a very big, huge project, so it may take some time to load up. I'm still in fintech app. So this is a fintech mobile app. Okay. Let's just move into the high fidelity. So this is a fintech with over 115 screens. So this is what a mobile app will look like when you're designing. So I designed for iPhone 13, 14, but it's going to be very compatible with any design, any phone screen, whether it's Android or iPhone. So this is what it looks like. Okay, so you can see there's several screens. Now so this is the screen and all that. Let me open up. Give me a second. Let me open up something. Set this to 13, 14. Set it to this. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So you can see this is magic, right? I can be designing and I'm actually seeing what it looks like on the phone. I can be designing and I can actually see what it looks like. So if I change this, you can see automatically change to 500. If I change it to 100,000, you can see it changes. So I can be designing and look, okay, how does this look when I'm actually designing and all that? So that's another thing. I just wanted to show you what a mobile app looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to close this and we'll go back to the business of the day. Now, this is what a landing page looks like. Remember, we talked about a landing page basically tells users the important information they want to get to see in a page. There may be a second page, but it may just be like, for example, maybe a checkout page or maybe a sign up field and all that. But it really doesn't cost. Like, for example, if I click on about, it should take me to the about somewhere down. If I click on how it works, it should take me to how it works somewhere down and all that. So that's a landing page. It's just a simple one-page design that basically conveys the message to your users. All right. Now it contains things like this. The first section here. So from here to here is what's called the hero section. This is called the hero section. Now your hero section comprises of maybe the company name or logo. Let's say, for example, we're calling it seven communities. It contains your navigations. So these are your navigations. It contains the call to action. So when you hear a call to action, because these are technical words you get to hear when you're obviously in the tech industry. So your call to action is the button. What exactly do you want the user to do when they click on that action? That's call to action. What do you want the users to do? What action do you want the users to do when they click on the button? So this is to get started, to sign up. Then a hero section would have images or videos, would also have a title text, a body text, a call to action, and you can also decide to add things like maybe social proof. Social proof are like trust signals, something like social proof can be like reviews. Trust signals can be like something like this. No. Trust signals can be like do I have a design that shows that? No. Let's say, for example, you've partnered with very hyped up, reputable organizations, and you want people to know that, yes, these people are partnering with us. So you're trying to tell people that, oh, they can trust us because we've got people that you trust that are already partnering with us. You can decide to put that here and so have you. But from this section down to this section is called your hero section. Now, I will not spend time on now to be able to find out how, what level do we measure our hero section and all that. How do we actually that this is a particular breaking point for hero section? If I have to do that, I will spend so much time and all that, but it's very easy. It's like very, very short, but I'm trying to keep the time. Now, these are different sections that talks about what you're trying to do. All right, let me play this. So you can also play this as present and it will sit in a bigger in a bigger screen. Okay, so this is your hero section. These are different sections and all that. So I have to keep this design very simple, very, very simple, because we are going to obviously replicate that. I didn't want anything too complex. So these are different sections that talk about serving communities, what they do, how can you actually get free food, and all that. It's an NGO, which we are going to read the design brief, and maybe just an FAQ section and a footer section. So it already looks like a website and all that. Now, let's look at the brief of what we are going to design today. It's a very short brief. It says, now this is not how a design brief would look like. I just have to keep this very, very short. It's usually more, it's a whole lot, all right? But just for the purpose of this training. Now, a design brief, it said design a user. So you imagine yourself right now as a UI UX or product designer. They said design a user-friendly, visual appealing landing page for serving community. Now, Serving Community is the name of the organization who has reached out to you as a designer, all right? Now, he's trying to tell you that what they do, they are actually a non-profit. So they are NGO, and what they do is that they leverage restaurant kitchens to cook and deliver free meals to those in need. So they help give free meals to those who cannot afford a meal and all that. Now, they said and now the instruction here is for the purpose of this training, we would only be designing the hero section of this landing page. If we have to design all of that, it will take hours. And then for the fact that you guys are, still learning or may not have an experience in it, it may take you hours to really get done. But we're only going to just focus on the hero section, just something very short. Now, for the purpose of this training, we'll only design the hero section of the landing page that encourages people to donate to the NGO and create awareness of the free meal. So as a designer, this is where you begin to analyze what exactly do my clients want. Okay, what they just want is just me to create an hero, just create a hero section, and then the call to action button there is that they want me to put a button that says, okay, guys, you guys can actually donate. This is what we do. Then create an awareness of the free meal, which is your title text and body text to say, okay, this is what we do. This is who we are. We want people to donate so that we can keep giving people free meals and all that. So that's basically what we're going to design today. Now, this is exactly what we're going to design. So I'm going to basically repeat this, and for those of you who have actually created accounts, you just do as I do. And then for those of you who don't have an account, don't worry, just listen and learn, so that when you then create your account, you can be able to make use of those information. Remember, I'll be speaking shortly about how we are going to get started for those who will want to take this as their career. So I'm going to then make a copy of this, and we're going to design that together. So let me just copy this and put it up on a new page. Now you can create different pages, but because it's a free version, you can only create 3 pages max. You can see it's already saying all 3 pages used. You can also delete, you can duplicate, you can rename. So I can decide to rename it and all that. So I'm just going to copy this. Give me a second. Someone wants to join in. Let me. Okay. So I'm just going to copy this and paste here, just so that we can actually see this clearly. Can we all see my see the screen? Please do well to unmute your mic. Let me know if you can actually. Great.
Yes.
Great stuff. Thank you. All right. So we're going to design this together. So I'm just going to put on the top, maybe, and I'll design down here. Now, the first thing you need to do is create a frame. Now, remember, we are creating a landing page. Landing pages are like websites, like it uses the website's frame size. Now, remember, I said when we talked about the frame section, I said that the most compactable frame size is a desktop frame, because it can actually fit any frame size, whether you're using a MacBook or whether you're using a laptop, or maybe you're using the normal traditional desktop and all that, it would fit in. But if you're designing specifically for a particular screen size, then do well to do so. But for the purpose of this, we're going to use the general one that fits any screen. Now, the first thing you're going to do, now pay attentively, please. The first thing you're going to do is click on the frame, the hash on your toolbar. If you come to your tool panel, the second, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, the third icon. If you click on frame, all right, it brings you down to your frame on your property panel. All right. Now you can see desktop. Under desktop, it has got different screen sizes. You can see the sizes But desktop is 1440 times 1024. Trust me, you don't need to cram it. Okay. Just click on desktop. This frame size will appear. Okay. Now, the width is what is more important when you're designing. You do not ever adjust the width, but you can adjust the height. If you adjust the width, what you've done is that you have distorted. So if I adjust the width like this, I have distorted the screen size. All right. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say Ctrl Z to take it back to the actual screen size. But I can adjust the height because as I'm designing, maybe I want to add more content. I can adjust the height. What happens is that your width, you can see, is still 1440. If I click on this one, it's 1440. But the width, the height here is 762. 1440, but it's 3574. That one is fine. As long as you want, as much as information you want to put in, it's fine. But your width should always be fixed at 1440. All right, so I'm just going to reduce this one because we're not going to design up to that. So let me just put up to here. Okay, so now you can see that we have basically the same. Give me a second. Let me take a screenshot of this so that I can only just be showing you what we are designing. Okay, let me take a screenshot. So now have a mental picture of what this looks like, and we are going to replicate this together. Now, when designing, all right, the first thing you need to do, you need to set your grid. Your grid are like your rulers, the things that will help you to ensure that you have alignment in your design. You don't want to be able to, maybe you're trying to put up a shape here, and then maybe you're trying to put another shape here. You can see it's all scattered, like it's not aligned. Maybe another one here, and it's not organized. All right. But if you have a grid, it ensures that your designs are properly aligned and all that. How do we do that? You click on the frame. Click on the frame. You come to your property panel. That's why you need to know when I say property, you will know where exactly I'm pointing towards to. So you're right. Come to your property panel. You see a place called layout grid. There's a plus sign here. Can we all see the screen very clearly? Please, can someone just unmute their mic?
Yeah.
Great stuff. Thank you. You can see the layout grid. You click on the plus sign. Once you click on it, you can see this icon, the dotted icon will come up. You can see the different lines and all that. Click on that dotted icon. I repeat, go to the layout grid, click on the plus sign, then click on the dotted icon. This will pop up. Click on the grid. There's a drop down on the grid. Click on that and click on columns. Now we want to organize our lines in columns to ensure, that's one of the best ways to be able to ensure that you have good alignments when you're designing. Now, there are different screen sizes for you to set your column grid when you're designing either a tab or web application, like websites and landing pages, and also a mobile app. There are different screen sizes, but I would only focus on websites today. Now, to count, take it to 12. So the count, there's a drop down, take it to 12. So this is just the only technical thing you do here. The other ones are very easy. Remember, as far as you're creative, you're good. So take it to 12. The only thing you change next is your margin. Your margin is the space between where we are going to be working and the space we don't want to work. We don't want to touch. We don't want to ensure that we don't want our design to cross that particular place. It's just like when you have a book. Do I have any such book here? No. I'm sure back in those days, we have this book whereby there's a line. When you're writing, don't cross this white side. You only write from when the line, and that's basically what we are doing. Set your margin to 100. Your count is 12. The next thing you only change is your margin. Type 100 and say enter. That's all. So you can see the white spacing is there. So this is called white spacing in UI UX or product design. It's called white spacing. So you see the white spacing just means that there's a white space. It's just being English and all that. Leave the rest, okay? And then close it. Have we all done this?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a question somewhere? I just have thrown. Give me a second. Goswill, yeah. Could you please let me know what the question is? Okay, I am too fast. Okay, thank you. I would reduce the pace, please. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are all there. Are we all there, guys? Okay, I should go again. No
Yeah,
problem.
repeat, please.
All right, I'll repeat it slowly. Sorry, I talk a bit too fast, but I'll repeat it slowly. All right, let's do this again. So go to this. I'm going to take off this now, and I'm going to redo it. So the first thing you do, you come to this hashtag, which is a third icon. There's a drop down there. We have got frame. Click on that frame. When you click on the frame, on your property panel, which is on the right, we're going to select desktop. So there's a drop down. Each of them have got drop downs. We'll select the desktop drop down. Go to your desktop. The one that just says desktop, click on it. Now, once you have done that, have you all gotten to this place? For those of us who didn't get that clear, can you please unmute your mic? Let's know if you've got into this place.
Yes.
Great stuff. Now, once you're done with that, you need to set parameters, your rulers that will guide you to ensure that you don't design out of where you're supposed to design. Now, for websites, I told you that there are different grid sizes, but I would not talk about those ones like the mobile or that. I'll only focus on websites. All you need to do is click on this desktop to highlight it. So the frame, click on the desktop frame. This is called a frame, okay? This rectangle boy is called, this is not rectangle. This is the frame. When you click on it, click on your layout grid. Give me a second, guys. All right. All right, so this is your frame. You click on your layout grid. There's a plus sign. Click on it. There's a dotted one here again. Click on that layout grid settings. It has different dot signs, shapes. Click on that. A box will appear towards your left. Click on the grid and change it to columns. Once you've done that, on your count, we're only going to change two things. On your count, select 12. On your margin, type 100. It was 0 before, just type 100 and say enter. And then you can exit this pop-up box. You are done on that. Are we all there now? For those of us who didn't get that clear, please could you unmute to let me know?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now the next thing we are going to now then do. So you can see if I do this, you see that there is a grid line 2 here as well. We also have got that grid line 2 as well. If I show you, let me show you on this one. You can see that grid line is there. The same thing we just applied is also here as well. All right. Now the next thing we're going to now design is our logo. But I didn't want to make it complicated for you to start designing logos and all that. That's why I wrote a text. All right. So we're going to type in 7 communities. 7 communities. For you to type your text, come to your toolbar. There is a text tool there that has a T. Click on your T. Click on it on any part of your work, and then type in 7, like your 7 food, and then communities. So once you've typed that, 7 communities. Once you've typed that, on your property bar, you can see where I am. I'm on the text section. All right, there are different sections. I'm on the text section. This place is everything has to do with your text. It controls your text. We are going to increase this to 18. It's just like when you're increasing your word you're writing something on Word document and you want to increase the size. It's called font size. We're going to say 18. Just type on it and say 18. It would increase it a bit. Now, in case if you're designing and everything looks small, zoom in. You can zoom in either if you come down to your right, there is this zooming feature here. You can say zoom in and it will zoom in for you. You can say zoom out and it will zoom out for you. Or if you're using a desktop like laptop and all that, just press the plus sign. Just only plus sign, it would zoom in, and the minus sign, it will zoom out. If you're using a mouse as well, which I'll always say for UI designer, to use a mouse is very easy to design, but without a mouse, sometimes it's very complicated. Unless that's what you like, you're very comfortable using a trackpad and all that. So once you're done with that, next thing you're going to do is you're going to right click on the 7 communities, because we want to bring it to this place. Right click on that 7 communities and say bring to front. It means that we are trying to bring this text on top of this, right? On top of the frame. You right click, you select on it, you right click, and you say bring to front. You press it, you left click on it. Now, once you're done with that, we want to change. Remember, this is the color. So I'm going to drop the color on the charts, the color code. Now, this is the color. You can see this is this color, all right? If I want to change this color, I can change this color to anything here. Black, white, I can add more colors, blue and other purple. You can just, this is called a color swatch. So you can just keep changing whatever color you want. But for the purpose of this, we are going to give it the right color that that's actually meant for it. So I'm going to just put back that color back, and I'm going to drop, this is called the color code. This FF45, those characters mixed with numbers and alphabets, they are called color codes. So I'm going to just copy that color code and I'm going to paste that on our charts. Kennedy, you said you can't see my screen. Can you see my screen now? Kennedy, can you see my screen now?
I can see, but I cannot see what you're trying to design.
Oh, you can't see what I'm trying to design.
I was seeing it before. I don't know what happened.
Okay, can you see this clearly now?
Yeah. I just okay, let me try. I slide to the other side to see before, but now I'm trying to even slide. I can't see the okay, trying to design, but no problem. I'll watch the video then. Let me just listen.
Okay, all right, no problem.
Thank you.
No problem. Gospel, you say your screen isn't dividing into 12. So what you do is this. Remember you said click on the frame, click on the layout. At that moment you would have, let me just quickly do it again. So I click on this, I click on the layout, I click on this dotted, I come to the grid, select column. You can either type 12 there or you use the drop down. On the margin, type 100 and say enter, and that should give you the 12 splits. Okay. Now that is the color code you are going to use to basically change the color of your change the color for 7 communities. So now, how do you change that? Make sure the 7 communities is highlighted. Come to this place. This is where you type in anything that has to do with color codes. You can say Control V. All right. Or if you want, you can look and type one by one. You can just copy it and say Control V and then enter. And that will give you the color code that I used for this. Now remember, we said bring to front and then bring it somewhere here. Okay, let's bring it somewhere here. In the main class, in the main training, we would really work that every single thing we are doing, you properly align it. But I'm not going to spend time because alignment takes time. But I'm not going to focus on that. All right, just try to understand how you can actually build this beautiful piece and all that. So now we are done with this. We're going to do the same thing, the same process you use in typing the rest. We're going to type for home. We're going to type for about, donate, and community. All right. So all you need to do is come to the text on your to panel, type home. All right. You click out, Come to your text again on the T, type about. You click out, come to your T again for donate. Click out, T again for community, and you click out. So I'm just going to try to, bring them a bit together. So like I said, I'm not going to focus on alignment properly because it takes time and all that. And a lot of persons would definitely ask questions. But when you get to the main class, would make sure that you get it. So just try to align it a bit better. As if it's almost on the same line. There is a better way to do it, but let me just teach you for those of you who can do that at the moment. All you need to do is highlight this. So to highlight is you left click your mouse, highlight the whole 4 text. Once you do that, click on align top. So you go to your property panel. You see align top is the 1, 2, 3, the 4th icon. Click on align top is the 4th icon. What it does is it aligns those texts to all start from the same top. So you won't have some like this and some like this. It aligns it. Now, the second alignment you may want to do is to ensure that you give same spacing from home to same spacing from about donate, because at the moment they all have different spacing. How do I know? If you click on home and if you click on home to about, it gives us 23 and all that. So how do we align it to ensure that we all have equal spacing? So what we'll do is we'll highlight again. Remember, you left click or with your mouse. So if you're using a trackpad on your laptop, use this hand to hold down on the laptop trackpad. Use this other one to basically move. But this mouse is usually better because you only just left click and that's it. So you left click and you drag. You come to the last icon on your property bar that says more options. You click on that and you say distribute horizontally. Remember, this is horizontally. This is vertical. So we are going to align everything horizontally to ensure that we have equal spacing between each text. So when you click on that, we can actually see that we actually do have the same spacing, which is 21. So now type in 60. We want to give 60. I want to make sure that the space between home to about is 60, about to donate is 60, donate to community is 60. Remember, what I did was this. You come here, you click on distribute horizontal spacing. Once you do that, you can see down here, you then type in 60. We want to give it a spacing of 60. Once you're done with that, make sure everything is being highlighted. Because it's your first time, for most of us, I wouldn't want to say bring them one by one. You may scatter the whole thing. So highlight everything from outside. So you just click from outside, just create that alignment. That's highlight everything. Then once you do that, right click, and then go to group selection. Right click and go to group selection. So when you click on group selection, what happens is that you can now move them as one. Now remember, before I grouped them, you can see if I want to move this and it's just going to go like this. I can't move everything together. Let me make sure everything is properly aligned. Yeah. So I'm just going to highlight, right click, group selection. So they all come in together. Okay. Now, once that's been done, let's look for what's the text color or color code for each of these. They all bear 70, 70, 70 as the color code, which is like a gray color. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste on the chart. Sorry, I missed out where you increase the text. I missed from there. Okay, no problem. So what you do is to increase the size text. Remember, it's just like your Microsoft Word or your PowerPoint. You're trying to increase the font size. Remember, I said this section is everything pertaining to your text. So it controls how your text should be. This one up here controls what type of font style. For Word, you have things like Times New Roman, Arial, and the rest of them. I don't want to spend so much time on this, but all this will be in detail when you enroll for the class. I don't want to spend so much time on this, but when you come here, you can actually adjust how you want the size to be. And like I said, if you're not seeing anything clearly, you can zoom in either using the plus sign or minus sign to zoom out. Or there is one here as well, which is the zoom. You can keep zooming in and all that. I hope I was able to answer your question, Joseph. Joseph, was I able to answer your question? Okay, let's carry on then. Great stuff. Thank you very much. Now, so guys, copy this color code, and all you now then do is you select each of them one by one. You can select each of them one by one. Come to this color section. Come to this color section and say Control V to paste. Or you can decide to type it one by one. All right. You do the second one, select the about, click on this color section, which is the fill, Control V and enter. You do again for donate, select on this, Control V and enter. Or you can decide to type 70, 70, 70. Community, Control V, enter. Now I have gotten exactly what I want. Now I can actually see that this actually took this color, which is the color of our logo or company name. So we're going to also copy that. Remember the first color I gave you, which is on the chart, just copy that and then come to home. Just click on only just home and then change that back to the color. All right. So once that is done, right click, bring to front. Once you have changed all the color, right click, bring to the front, and then bring it down here to where we are designing. Okay, to your frame. So you try to adjust it somewhere at the center. Okay. All right. If you understand what we've done so far, could you please put up a Y? If you understand what we've done so far, please put up a Y. If you do not understand on anything, please put up an N. Gospel, you've got a question. Okay, and Cynthia, you've got a question. Gospel, what's your question? You popped in first from my screen. Okay, great. So I can see everyone said Y on the chat. Gospel, what's your question? Okay. Cynthia, what's your question?
Okay, please.
You've answered. Okay.
You can continue.
It's not really like a question. I just wanted to get your attention regarding the issues I was having.
Okay. Have that been answered now?
Yeah.
Okay, great stuff. All right, Cynthia, over to you. What's your question, please?
Okay, please. I don't know how to get the color.
Okay. So
Thank you.
which of the color is it? The pink one?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm just going to paste that now again on the chat. It was on the chat. So I pasted that now to the chat. All you need to do is just copy this, copy the color code, or you can type them manually, okay? But for it to be fast, just copy it. When you copy it, come to where you want to change your color. All right. So if it's the pink one, I just dropped it. I'm also going to drop this color, the gray color as well for the other ones. You can see this one is pink and these other ones are gray. So you select your home. All right. Now, when you select your home, you can see this is the color section. This field is your color section. You can decide to type it one after the other if you want. But if you want to be fast, just say Control V after you've typed and say enter. It will change that color. Is that clear?
Yeah,
Let me know.
thank you.
Have you been able to do that?
Yes.
Great stuff. And then do the same thing as well for each of the other. Let me post. It has cleared up from here. Let me give you the other color for this one. 70, 70, 70. If you just type that, so I'm just pasting that now in the group chat. Okay, great. Mrs. Christabel, what's the issue?
Sorry, it's the mistake was from my part because I'm using a phone.
Okay.
So I had to zoom. So when you were pointing it,
Okay.
I wasn't seeing when you were using your pointer to point the angle we should go to.
Okay.
I wasn't. So maybe if I get the video, I will be able to.
Okay, no problem. We'll try to ensure that it's recording now, so we'll try to ensure anything you miss out, do not worry. Just keep learning, and definitely we will release the video. Is there any other person? No. Okay, great stuff. All right, so that's how to get this done. Now, how do you get your button done? Now, these buttons are basically just a shape, a rectangle shape. All you need to do is click on the rectangle. We're going to make a button. Click on a rectangle. You can just drop any button size. I will not be very specific on what button size at the moment. Just draw a button size, okay? Not anything too big, right? So drop a button size, and then you can see that this is rounded. Now, the reason why we make buttons a bit rounded is so that it can be distinct from any other shape that we may use in our design. You can see this is made of rectangle. It's a shape and all that. So if the user keeps seeing this shape, they get confused. Is this a shape or is this really a button? But sometimes when you make it curved and the consistency of all your buttons are like that, it registers in the user's mind that, oh, whenever I see a button that is curved like this or a shape curved like this, it's actually a button. All right. So we're going to give this button a corner radius to just shape it a bit to 12. How do we do that? Now you can see that when I highlight on this place, these are property for the boxes are being highlighted. If I click out, you don't see it on the property panel. If I click on this, you can see the property panel. This basically talks about the movement when you're moving in the box, to the left, to the right. This is up or down, the Y section, okay? When you're moving your box or wherever. This is your width. I want to increase my width. I want to decrease my width. You can do it like this, or you can decide to also manually drag or reduce, or you can even, if you know the button size you want to create, you can type it manually as well. Now, another thing you need to look at here is, we'll not talk about this. This is just basically you want to rotate that shape or whatever. This is where the corner radius we are working on. We want to give it a corner of 12. But depending on how you want, if you want 5, now let's say I give 100, you see, it turns down to this. All right. So let's say I want to give maybe 20. It turns out to this. So, but for the purpose of this, I'm just going to give a 12. All right. So just type in a 12 on your corner radius. All it does is just to give you that shape of a button. So you can see now it looks like a button. That's how buttons are being created. Now you've done that. The next thing you need to do is to type in get started. You already know how to do that. Just type the T, click on the T and say get started. Once you've done that, it's already on white. We want it on white, so that is fine. Now we want the same color as well. All you need to do is, remember, I've already given the color for home. Is the same color for your logo. All you need to do is you can decide to click on that color you've already changed already. You just click on it and get the color code there. So instead of having to go to the chat, click on it, say Ctrl+C, which is to copy. Come to your box, click on your box. So you copy on it on the color code, Ctrl+C. You come to your fill section where your color is, and say Ctrl+V. Enter. And that color will change. Then you can bring your get started to this place. So you can see that I need to increase here because it's looking a bit too tight. So I'm just going to increase the width a bit. So I'm just going to put it at the center. Now that we're done with this, all we need to do is, remember how you were able to highlight to group all of this. All you need to do is highlight from outside to inside to highlight this box and text together, because we want to group them so that when I'm moving, it wouldn't, each element would not just, move away. They'll all be together. So I'm going to highlight everything and I'm going to say right click, group section, selection. Highlights everything. This is the text and the box. Right click, come to your group selection and say group selection. Click on it, you left click. And you can see I can move this around. Now, this is how your button is created. Okay. Don't mind what is the size and all that for now. Just create any box that, it's not too big, not too small. Okay. Just focus on that for now. Now, we're going to bring that here. Now, let's look at this design. We see that we basically have a rectangle box that is here. Okay. So we are going to draw a rectangle box that will cover this section up to this section. Just draw up anything from here. So first of all, take off your text, all right, because we want the text to come before the box. So take off the text, just drag it out for now. So just drag somewhere up here. Don't worry if you're actually getting the right distance or not. The video will be there for you to look to kind of envision, is this the right amount or not? But just for those of us that are actually following up, just draw, as you can. Now, once that is done, we're going to change it to this color. Now, I'm going to also paste this color. The color of the rectangle is a bit lighter. All right, so it's a bit lighter. And that is it. Okay, so it's just the same way you do it. All you need to do is click on the rectangle box, and then you say Ctrl V. And it gives you that color. So if I turn off, if you want to see what you're designing because the lines are blocking you, just click on your frame. You can always turn it off and you see what you've done so far. By turning on, you see the lines will show for alignment. I can turn it off to see what I've done so far. Okay. Now I can now then bring this up here, and I can then bring this to this place. So remember, your starting point will be on the first margin. Your ending point for a text or images will be on the ending side. You don't put it here. You put it here. Okay. Now, if you are following and you've done up to this place, please kindly put up a Y. If you're following up to this place, kindly put up a Y on the comment section. Okay. Okay. Can we get more? Okay. Jerry and Godwin. Franklin, is there an issue?
Yes,
I have an issue.
Okay, what was the issue? What's you said N?
Yeah, from my own end, first of all, this the curved box, actually the get started. First of all, I can't even find it inside my box after shifting it. Then secondly, the last part where we are changing the color for this part on the left, I'm trying to right click, but it's not staying.
Okay, no problem. Okay, just because of time, if I have to keep answering every single person, we will obviously overspeed because I'm trying to rush up to finish everything in 10 minutes, possibly. All right. So we will take this video. I will just continue, and at the end of, could you please mute your mic? Could you please mute your mic right now? Yeah, thank you. At the end of it, just watch the video, and it will help you build. As you're looking at it, you can then be designing. So what I'll do is I will just carry on, and at a later point, you can now then go through it. If you've got any other question, reach out to me privately. Is that okay? Goswill?
Okay. My own confusion is, can I speak?
Yes, please. Carry on.
Yeah, so my own confusion is, I've been following though, but you just drew a box now by the right.
Yes.
All of a sudden, the box disappeared, and then you now returned all of the menus.
No, the box did not disappear. What happened is this: it's still here because the line is almost the same color with this. All right, that's why I said when you're designing, we turn on the lines for alignment. And I said, if you want to turn off to see what you're doing, right? If you click on the desktop and you see this layout grid, if you see this I section, if I turn it off, you can see the box is still there. Okay. Can you see that? Yes. Yeah. Then, but when you're designing, just turn it on so it helps you guide you. So what I'll do is I'll just try to quickly do that as I'm talking, and then you can watch the video later that will help you design so that we can quickly get done started. We can actually finish and then move into the final stage, which is just how do you start and all that, where we take our time with no rush and get to do it. So all you now then do is the same way you have typed the all of this, you just keep typing. All right, so I'm just going to quickly type this, or just for time. All I'll just do is, the same way we type. All you just need is just type this word. I'm just going to make a copy of that, bring to front. So normally you type this and then you position. You would have typed this as well, just for time. Now, how do I make this bigger? You make this bigger by increasing your font size. So it's on 45. So I can increase it to 60 if I want, 45. Now, but it's something I'm going to let you know. Your body text is always 16 to 24, and then your title text is always 45 to 65. It shouldn't cross above that, and it shouldn't cross lesser than that. So we're going to use 45 for this. So I'm just going to set this back to 45. So let me just quickly just take this. So remember, you just type the same way you type. Just type, bring to front. I'm going to just making a copy just so that we can all get to see how this is done. Then I'm going to make a rectangle here. All I just need to do is come to your shape, type your rectangle, and maybe draw something here that we're going to insert a picture. Let me increase this a bit. So you're going to insert a picture here. You can make a copy of this button, the first button, to get started. Make a copy of it, paste it here. So right click and then you paste here. All right, and then bring here, somewhere here, and then change this to donate because it's donate here. Change this to donate. So this is where we are going to stop the class. So we're going to change and donate. For this is the same thing. For now, don't worry about yourself on this. Let me just take this one off so that it doesn't confuse you guys. How do you get icons? Icon is a different class that, how to get it. There are different types of icons, filled, unfilled, or outlined, and all that. So what I expect that you guys should now then do is, in your practice time, just is the same text, just proper text here, and then proper texts are all different texts and all that. So when you look at the design, I'll send you the picture image on the group. All you're doing is imitating the design. That's the first way to learn how to design. You imitate what has been done, and then you now then try to see if you can actually design it. Once you're able to pass that stage that you can imitate a particular design, you can start creating your own. So your assignment is to finish up the rest of this. For the image, don't worry about it because I would have taught you how to do an image right now, but I don't want to get everyone all confused on how to go about it. Just drop a box here. I understand that this is where your image is going to be. But all of this, and now that we are done with our design, I'm just going to toggle off the I button, and we have basically designed what the other one looks like already. Okay, so this is how to design a hero section of a landing page or website. Now, this that you have done, if you want to use the no-code thing, you can convert this and you'll become a real website and all that. Does anyone have any question apart from the design side of it? Does anyone have any question before we now then move into the last segment, which I'll try to cover up in the next 5 minutes? Okay, so we'll just conclude then. Now, moving over to the final slides. Now, so the UI UX design, the mission is basically to empower people with tech skills that can actually help them, such as UI UX design, to help them get jobs and begin to work in the tech industry. But while we are also doing that, the very core aim of TMA is also to be able to share God's word as well, to be able to help you as a human being, as a Christian, to live a very better life. And that's why we are not charging the price of what it takes, like other maybe institutions or academy or school would charge you to basically learn. If you're in Nigeria, it would be like 200K, 300, 250, maybe depending on location, maybe 150 or so or more. So, but we're not doing that. We're just taking a very little, which is restriction fee. That's why we call it partly funded scholarship, just so that you can be committed, because we tried doing this 100%. Most people took it seriously, but many others will take it for granted. and we didn't want that to keep happening and all that. So that's why we tried to put in some little measures so that once 1 naira has entered into it, you will take it seriously. Now, remember I said it's going to be a session where we basically discuss God's word and also learn the tech skill, in depthly from beginner level to an advanced level. Now, the partly funded scholarship, depending on your location, if you're in the UK, it's just £50. In the UK, it takes £600, 350, 450, 1,025, depending on location or the company who is handling that. But we're only just taking £50 just so that it's like a registration fee, just so you're committed into it, so you're not paying those huge prices, and at least gives you that leverage and chance to be able to get into the tech field. Now, for those in Nigeria, you just pay 50,000 naira. If you're any other part of the world, I do know that there are some person from Czech and doing the registration US, just pay $50. But if you're from, I know there's one from Ghana, just reach out to me and I'll just let you know the conversion rate of what the naira is there in your country and all that. It's just so that it's a registration fee that we know that you are serious about it and you're not going to take it for granted when we start. Because remember, someone is actually spending time, resources, effort to get this out to you. So we don't want people just come today, tomorrow, they're not coming tomorrow. The next day, they want you to repeat everything you've done. It wouldn't work like that. That's dragging every other person who has been there way back. Now, for dates to start, the class time, the duration and all that, it would be for 3 months. We do understand that a lot of persons basically are working or have got family, they've got different things to do. So it would not affect your day-to-day activities. So it would be, I would say one, but it's 2 times a week. All right. The one time is where we would basically sit down and go through every single thing. And then the second day would be, you can decide to join on that day or not. If you've got any questions or while you're doing your assignment, because every day there's going to be an assignment. So we meet once a week. And then the other day in the week, so we meet on a Saturday. The other day in the week will be on a weekday. If you've got any question, there'll be a time slot where you can just jump in and let me know, tell me exactly what issue you're going with, or if you need my guidance, I can help you on that as well. So it would run for 3 months, and the timing and everything will be communicated at the point of induction, but we'll try to make sure that it's very flexible. It will be in the evening, so that at least by then you would have been back from your day. But if you all prefer to do it in the mornings, then that will be fine. I've already discussed the Let's On training. It's going to be for 3 months and on a Saturday. What do you stand to gain when you join TechMind Academy? One, you learn God's word as well that will help you shape your life as a human being, as a Christian as well, that will help you transform your society as a person, and then will also equip you with a tech skill as well that makes a difference. You can get into the tech world and begin to also earn good money as well. We would also help you that from the beginning of the training, we'll start working on your portfolio. After you've been able to, I think on the time on the curriculum is about I think 4 weeks thereabout. When you have imitated designs, you've been able to, we know that yes, if you're to start your portfolio design, you're good to go. We will start working on your portfolio. At least we would have one done and all that, depending on how we're able to catch up and all that. If we're all fast, we can make it even 2: 1 web application, 1 mobile application. But at least a minimum of 1 will be done throughout your training. We'll also help you on job search. Now, help on job search, I'm not saying we are going to give you jobs, but definitely if there are jobs that someone say, hi, job, we need so person, definitely I recommend. But what I mean by job search is we tell you the right places that you can actually get these jobs. Your portfolio, someone asks, what is a portfolio? Portfolio is a collection of your design. In the design, the UI, UX, or product design industry, CV is not what you really submit. It can be an optional thing to submit, an additional thing, but the main thing anyone wants to see is what have you done? And that's your portfolio. So it's a collection of your designs. And another thing you stand to gain again is the mentorship. So after the training, we don't just leave you to yourself. After the training, if you do need questions, if you do have questions or you need some form of mentorship, definitely that will be provided to ensure that at the end of the day, you are still meeting up at your best. We would also have our monthly meetings after the training to obviously go through different things as well. How are people going through with their designs? If you have any resources that can help you, we would also share, as well as God's word as well. Remember, that's the key point. For those of us who are interested and are ready to pay, the price has already been mentioned. I will be dropping the link now on the chat, and I'll also drop the link as well to our group chats. Let me quickly just do that now. So that's the link that it basically just lets us know that you are interested, you're ready to make, you're ready to commit yourself into the learning, you're ready to commit yourself into the learning, and you're ready to make that registration fee that shows that commitment to pay. So once you fill up the link, we will reach out to you and send you the payment details. And once we confirm that, we'll add it to a different group for those who are going to be learning. Now, depending on how the number is, because I wouldn't want a lot of persons to be in a particular group so that it can be very effective. I can have one-to-ones and all that. So I would also be splitting that group into different groups, so that we have, a minimum number of persons in a group for greater effectiveness in the learning. I don't know if there's anything I have missed out. If there's anything I've missed out. If there is any now, when do we start this training? Because of timing and all that, it was meant to start next week, next Saturday between football. I'm going to give 2 weeks so that people can actually prepare themselves. I do know that some persons need to maybe fix their laptop or get 1 or 2 things done, or maybe to raise the money. Some people may feel like it's a big money, some may feel like it's a small money, the registration fee, but at least it's not anything compared to what you actually pay out there and all that. So we are going to start the week starting from the 3rd. Like I said, for those of us who will be registering, we will definitely communicate and give you your time, class day, and time. But we'll try to make sure that it's going to be something that will be convenient for you. So it will be starting on this week. And if you're going to meet, it will be on a Saturday on the 8th. So at least you have 2 weeks to be able to make your payment. And the last day for payment would be on the 31st of May. But please do not wait until that time. The reason is so that we can be able to, there are only just few slots. Master classes can be for everybody, but the training may not be for everybody. Well, it would be nice if you have it, make your payment on time. It also helps us plan better, do the grouping and planning. Just like today, people were already asking me about creating an account today. I had to juggle with helping a lot of persons. Apart from those that said in the group, a lot of persons also texted me privately. So it was a whole lot to be doing at that time. Now, I may delay in your replying your message, which I ended up replying everybody, but let's not wait to 9 minutes so that you don't put one on that pressure of having to do this, having to do that, and then I like things going down smoothly. So I think that's basically every single thing that I would like to share with you. If you do have any questions, maybe there's something I didn't touch about or something you don't understand, please do well to ask your questions now. I expect to have questions, so please do well to unmute your mic and ask your questions. Thank you, guys. So I'm expecting your questions before we wrap up. I can see some questions on the chat. Says, can a person pay twice in installments? The answer is yes. But as far as you make your payments, so you can make your payments in installments. So you can make whatever installment you've got now, and in 1 month you can pay the rest. We are more of an NGO. We're not focused on the money, but we use that to be able to sort out a lot of other things as well. So, but as far as you're certain you will make the payment, sure, you can do that twice and all that, but it will just be for a month for you to complete the other payment. Now, Jesse said, thank you so much for this class. It was really educative, innovative, inspiring. Thank you very much, Jesse. I really appreciate, number one, for you creating that time to come in for our masterclass. God bless you. Thank you. Franklin said, was really interesting, but can payment be made twice? Yes. We are more of an NGO. We are more of impacting that knowledge than rather in money making. I could have made money from it, but we're not interested, but we just want people to commit. But as far as you're also saying that you will make the payment after a month when you're learning, we are cool with it. There's no issue. Now, Gabriela Amechi, please, how much is the fee? I missed that part. Gabriela, could you please unmute your mic and let me know where you're joining us from? Gabriela, could you unmute your mic and let us know where you're joining us from? Or if you could type that in the chat box if where you are is busy or noisy.
From Nigeria.
Okay, for those in Nigeria, thank you, Franklin, for putting that in, but it's actually 50,000
Hello, from
naira.
Nigeria.
Okay, thank you, Gabriela. Thank you. Frankly, thank you for actually helping out, but it's actually 50,000 naira.
Okay, thank you.
And like I said, you can make twice payment. We are not money making. This thing is just a registration fee and all that. So you can make twice. At first, you can make your complete payment after a month. Then for those in the UK, it's just £50. And then for those in US, it's $50. Then if you're in any other country that I've not mentioned now, just reach out to me. I'll just let you know the payment details of whatever country you are in, and then we'll send you the payment details. It's just very easy. Thank you very much, Cynthia. I really appreciate the fact that you joined. Has anyone got any question you like to? If you like to, thank you, Mr. Engwell. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Okay, yes, Mr. Obina.
Yeah, okay, Mr. J, thank you so much for the lecture. I've grabbed a lot, within the past, I think 2 hours or thereabouts. But my question is this: do you have, how do I put this question now? Do you offer certificates for your training? Like,
very good
that's
question.
One.
Yeah,
that's one. The second question is this: this program, this training session, the first one you're about to host, is it going to be a one-time training, or do you plan to continue? Maybe sections, classes, sets. Maybe if you're done with the first class, you can have another class, so people can keep registering at their own time and then enroll in the program.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, I understand. I'll start with the second question and I'll go to the first. So I have been running these classes without even announcing it, to making it very open for a lot of persons to join. I've been doing that section by section. Sometimes some people may call me, okay, let's run this for maybe this church or something, to equip them with that. Maybe it's their own the church social corporate responsibility. I also have different people I also train as well, but I thought to basically make this more open this time around. Remember, it is not in making money in business and all that. So it's just basically impacting. Remember, the two things is we impact you with a tech skill. We also impact you with the word of God to be able to help you become a better person and all that. So it's something that has been going on the background, low-key. Apart from UI UX, we've also been training on data and the rest of them. But as time goes on, we're going to have other tech skills that will be that would add into Tech Mind Academy. Now, whatever you give and all that, it's also in the for the registration is also being placed, for the other people we are going to come in. Not everybody would be like me, not to take anything, all right? But that would be used to be able to bring in maybe someone who is a software engineer at some point when we are going to run software courses, someone with a cybersecurity to run, and all that. Not everybody would want to get paid for their services. Where will it come from? It's from your registration as, okay, this is it. This is what we can use to appreciate you for the lesson. So moving over to, will it consistently going on? Yes, it has always been, but now we decided to launch out to now reach out to more people and all that. So definitely after this after your cohorts, it would be an ongoing thing. And remember, I said that every month we would all meet and discuss. I know that apart from God's word, we would all discuss, okay, Jerry, how far, what's going on ever since you graduated, on Tech Mind Academy. So we're not just saying learn this and go on your own. That's what most people do. It's a community. We're trying to create a community where we can help each other. Jerry may have a job for Franklin. Franklin can recommend Obina and all that. If you're not in that part of community, how would you know? One of the better ways to get job now is networking. And that's another thing this group is for. So we're all going to come in network. Jerry can see, in my organization, we're even looking for so person who has not gotten a job. Someone comes in there and all that. I'm interested though, you apply. So it's going to be that community where we all discuss every month after the 3 months. So it won't just be go and that's it. No, we'll all come in together. We'll share gospel. We'll also discuss about all of that. And then if there were any resources or materials that needed to be shared, we'll also do that as well. I don't know if I'm able to answer your second question.
Yes, you have.
Great stuff. Now, the first one about certificates, yes, I missed that out completely. I knew there was something I was missing. there is a certificate, that will be given to everyone who obviously would register at that point when the training has started and conclude. We will give you a certificate at the point when you're done with your training and also your portfolio. A certificate will be issued to you. There's no worries to that. I apologize. I missed that from adding that to the slide. Okay.
All right, thank you. Thank you,
Great
Jesse.
stuff. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Franklin. Thank you, Godwin. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Shay. Thank you so much. Said impactful. It was really insightful. Also, thank you for my gifts in advance. Definitely, please, Shay, text me now and all that so I can actually have your details and send that across to you. And please, when you do receive it, do well to confirm in the group so that people know it's not audio. All right. Has anyone got any question before we call it a day for today? Has anyone got any question before we call it a day for today? Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate the emojis and everything. Thank you very much for the good comments. I really appreciate that you're here. So thank you for everyone who has attended today's masterclass on UI UX design. I hope you all get to register and then join in, and I'll see you in class soonest. Thank you, guys, and have a beautiful day, and God bless you all. Thank you. God bless you,
Thank
Yoma.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you
You're
so much.
welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much, and have a good day.